Hello and welcome back. So I'm going to continue with my videos and speaking to the record collection, vinyl collection, CD collection, music collection that myself and my partner have collected over the years. So we're just doing 10, highlighting 10 pieces of music, whether it's vinyl, CD, or other formats that is in our collection. We'll give you a little bit of, I'm going to give you a bit of stats on each of the records or formats that of the single or album that I'm highlighting, and give you some stats and personal views on that specific record. So the last time I made a video, we talked about this. So this record is by Paula Abdul. It was one of the best-selling debut albums of all time by a female singer at that time. So that's where we left off. So I'm going to continue, and I'm doing this alphabetically. So obviously, Abdul is their last name. We file our records by group first name or artist last name. So we've talked about this last time, and we're going to move on. The next record in the collection is actually a single off of that record. It's the first single, Straight Up. Now, this actually, this song is what actually made me pay attention to Paula Abdul, because it was a very good, it wasn't her first single, but it was released after, I think, as a third single. And I really didn't catch on to the first two being Knocked Out and It's Just the Way That You Love Me. This one actually made me really listen to her. I really like this song. The video was excellent. Again, it's Paula Abdul. She's a choreographer, so she did some great dancing in the video. This was actually her first #1 single. So it was #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. In Canada, it did pretty well as well. It was based on the record. It was #1 on the record retail singles, #2 on top singles for the RPM charts, and #1 on the urban dance RPM charts in Canada. In the UK, the single reached #3, and that's all. That's the best it did on that chart. On the Billboard Euro Chart 100, it was #2 there for 3 weeks. Now, the US, it had a huge impact, or made a huge impact on the charts. It was #1 for 3 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, #3 on the Dance Club Play chart, #1 in the dance single sales chart, and #2 in the R&B hip hop charts. It did also make the adult contemporary chart, but it stalled at #39. So that's her third single. Great single in my view. Now we'll move on to her Cold Hearted single, which was actually considered, or actually it was her fifth single released from her debut album, which was kind of unheard of back then. This song was, it didn't do as well as Straight Up, but it did have an impact on the American charts. It was her third consecutive #1 single. It was released in June of 1989. In Canada, it reached #1 on the record retail singles charts, #2 in RPM singles, top singles, #1 in dance urban RPM charts, and in the UK, it stalled at #46. In the US, it was again a different story. It was her third consecutive #1 in the US. It was only #1 for 1 week. On the Dance Music Club Play chart, it reached #19, and then on the dance single sales chart, it reached #6. It's a good record. The remixes are really good. I kind of still was a fan at this time. Um, that's all from Forever Your Girl singles. Now, I didn't really buy her second album. I wasn't a big fan of it. However, I was a big fan of her, two of the singles released from that album. The first one being My Love Is For Real. Now, these are remixes by Junior Vasquez and E Smooth. Um, I was a big fan of Junior Vasquez, so I actually bought this single because of that. Although I didn't really mind, I didn't mind the actual single, the album version of this song. It was released in 1995. Now, the background singer on this is a Middle Eastern singer by the name, actually, to be quite, to be more direct, or not direct, but the background singer of this, her name is Ofra Haza. She had a huge hit in the late 80s called Amin Nalu. She's an Israeli singer who died later on of complications with AIDS. She died in 2000. But anyways, back to Paula Abdul. This single was kind of a somewhat hit for Paula Abdul. The video did garner some MTV Video Music Awards. Nominated for Best Dance Video and Best Choreographer. This was written by Paula Abdul, who also produced Mariah Carey's song. Sorry, it was written by Paula Abdul and Rhett Lawrence, who wrote Mariah Carey's a huge hit, Vision of Love. This chart-wise did okay. It didn't do as great. I think, well, not I think, but in Canada, it reached number 20 in the RPM charts, number 7 in the Dance Urban charts. UK, it topped the OCC charts at number 28 and number 3 in the R&B hip hop charts. In the US, in Billboard's Hot 100 chart, it stalled at number 28, which was kind of like a not really good for Paula Abdul, because she had such a huge success in her first record. And for this song, this album, I think this album was called Head Over Heels, but this album did not fare well. Anyways, we're moving on to the second single from that Head Over Heels album, Crazy Cool. Crazy Cool did not do well as well, but I got some... I like this song because, again, the remixes were pretty cool from Dubfire and Bad Boy Bill. Some good remixes here, some good club remixes. Again, the single didn't fare too well for Paula Abdul. It actually stalled in Canada at number 49, in the US, Billboard Hot 100, 58. Didn't even chart in the UK, so not a great success for Paula Abdul, but a good single nevertheless in the dance club play charts. There, we're moving on to an artist that was probably one of the most successful or best-selling artists of the 2000s. This is a record by Adele. It's 30. It was released November 2021. This here is not even open, but I did like this record. I've listened to it digitally. First single released from this was Easy on Me. And then 2 other singles, Oh My God and I Drink Wine, were released as singles as well. This is a Walmart exclusive, so it's a clear vinyl, 2 LP. It was very pricey. But yeah, it's a good album. Now, Adele has a habit of selling massive amounts of records. So this was this sold very well. It was nominated for 6 Grammys. It was her 4th studio album, or is her 4th studio album. It was the best-selling album in the UK and the US in 2015, selling over 5.5 million records worldwide in 2015. Number one in Canada, number one in the UK, number one in the US. It actually made year-end charts, both in 2021 and 2022. It was the best album of 2021 in the UK and the world. And in 2022, it was still one of the best albums worldwide. Number one in Canada, UK it was number 14 for that year, and the US it was number 2 for the best-selling album of 2022. That's Adele for you. The next record I want to highlight in my collection, or in our collection, is a diva. Now, I love a diva. A diva is a house music artist. She was actually born Patricia Daniels, born in New Jersey, USA. She's presently actually a teacher for songwriting. And her first studio album was called A Diva. It reached number 6 in the UK and number 28 in Europe. This actually was was a single from that album called Warning, and didn't really have an impact on the charts, but was released in 1989. Love this this record. Some remixes here by we got Smack Productions, composed by T. Patterson. Yeah, so it's a great record, great artist. This is a duet from Monie Love and a diva. It's Monie Love versus a diva called Ring My Bell. I bought it because I was a fan of a diva. Now, I'm going to say that I'm not a big fan of this record. I still have it, but I'm not a big fan of it. Some facts you may not know, this was actually produced by and remixed by Simon Dunmore. Simon Dunmore was a DJ from the UK. And he went on to he was a founder of Defected Records, which has some great house music artists on it. He's recently retired, but yeah, he was the director for Defected Records for some time, and the founder, and then he recently retired. Not a great record for me, but I love a diva, and I have it. Thought it was going to be a good record. Not so good. Now this is a special deluxe edition of a record from an artist that I really, really like. They're Belgian artists by the name of Charlotte Digéry. Now, they went by a couple of other names, like Water was one of them. But this was released under the moniker or the name Charlotte Digéry. It was the debut album of two artists, Charlotte Digéry, which is this girl here, this woman, and Boris Popol. Now they came together and they released this record. There were 5 singles released from this record. Thank You, Blenda, Haha, Ce n'est pas un cliché is another one, and the last single was Making Sense Stop. They were released from September 20. The first single was released September 2021, and the last single was released March 2022. It had a 85 rating on Metacritic, which is reviews from professional publications. New Music Express gave it a 4 out of 5. Pitchfork gave it an 8.2 out of 10. And Beats Per Minute gave it 88 out of 100. This is a deluxe edition. It's got some great great extras in here. It is a gatefold. I'll show you what's included. A signed print, art print, signed by both artists. It's got a booklet of some nice photos of the artists. Great singer, by the way, Charlotte Desjardins. She's very good. They're experimental electronic, so the music is excellent. I really like it. My husband actually got me into it. Got me into this group, and I absolutely love them. These are some of the prints. I have no idea. It's an egg. Doesn't make sense to me, but makes sense to them. And the actual record is a gatefold. So it's a double record. That's Boris and Charlotte right there. Now, I did catch a live performance of them doing some of their hits, and they are incredible live. Very, very good. Very true to their genre of music. And this record is actually numbered. There was only 500 released, and I believe we got number 23, which is actually really good. But anyways, Charlotte Desjardins, great artist, great record. If you're in the mood to check something new, I would highly recommend this band. Very good. The next record I'm going to highlight is by an artist that I really love. Now, this artist, they were a part of a kind of like 90s dance club movement that happened in the early 90s, late 80s to early 90s, where radio had some, I don't know what it was, but they didn't really want to play dance music on the radio. They just stuck to pop. But a huge influx of some great hip-hop dance artists came out, like Snap, Crystal Waters, CeCe Peniston. They released some really huge dance club hip-hop hits that crossed over. And this was one of the groups that managed to do so as well. The group name is The Adventures of Stevie V, and the record is self-titled. This was the first single from that record, and it's Dirty Cash. It's called Dirty Cash, Money Talks. This is one of my favorite dance records ever. I have a sealed copy and an unsealed copy. This record actually came out in '89. This is a 12-inch single for the actual first single from that album. They're really a hip house dance music act from Biggleswade, Bedfordshire in England. So they consisted of Stephen Vincent, Mick Walsh, and singer Melody Washington. Great record. It's, again, like I said, from the self-titled album The Adventures of Stevie V, released in 1990. Now, some of these mixes here are from, actually, I think the majority of them are from David Morales, huge remixer who's collaborated with anybody from Madonna. Mariah Carey did a lot of Mariah Carey remixes that were huge. But yeah, he did the Red Zone mix here with Eric Kupper. Great success for this record. In Canada, it was a #1 hit on the Dance Urban RPM charts. And the UK was a #2 single on their official charts, OCC charts. The Eurochart Hot 100, #7. And in the USA, it made various charts. Pretty good showing on the Billboard Hot 100. It reached #25. And that's pretty good for a dance music artist, especially a club artist. It was a #1 12-inch single sales chart in the US, and on the Dance Music Club Play chart, it also reached #1. Now, they had a singles chart called the Hot Black Singles charts, which later Billboard changed to the R&B hip hop charts, but it reached that chart as well, and it was number 75. Love this group. Their self debut record had lots of plays on my CD player, a still digital player, and it really I really spun the vinyl a lot. Great group, and I think that there will probably be more singles that I talk about in the next video. For now, that's where I'm going to end it. That's the next 10 in the list. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what I could do better. I'm pretty new to making videos and talking about music. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we will get the next 10 records for you in about a week or so. Take care.